Whether it's recruitment for a job or picking out the right romantic partner among the many other options you naturally have, the answer on how you can choose the right kind of people is a major topic that we all want to know. I know this because all of us, more often than not, choose incorrectly when dealing with socialization. Have you ever experienced a moment when you thought this other person would become an excellent coworker or subordinate of yours, or become your best friend or even your lifetime partner, but later realized that your hunch was mistaken? Today's recommended book, Noise, A Flaw in Human Judgment, by the famous Daniel Kahneman, includes the specific example of choosing the right candidate in a job interview and to what level can that decision be reliable. In it, he states that employers will be able to choose correctly and pick out the more capable candidate from the less capable ones at about 56 to 61% accuracy. That's weird. My rage against the recruiter who rejected me during the last interview I had is now subsiding. But yeah, it's been known in the psychological field that the chance of anyone, even experts, detecting capability from multiple candidates is only slightly better than a coin toss. And it's not hard to understand why. We're all different people with different values, decision-making criteria, different mood at the moment, different stereotypes, habits, and even different timing, which all greatly affect the decisions we make. The book uses the example of court judges and how during days when their supporting sports team had lost, they tend to make harsher verdicts compared to days when their favorite sports team had won. Yes, terrifying. If these high scholarly individuals like them can make mistakes, it's no wonder that the average people can also make the same error, and it's very natural that decisions made by job recruiters will also equate to a coin toss. So if you've actually worked hard to get into that job but was rejected after an interview, it's probably not your fault, you just had bad luck with the interviewer. You might be able to find useful information by watching my past videos that talk about choosing the right kind of people to become friends or date, but I don't think I've made a whole lot of videos targeted towards the business social interaction specifically. So this video will cover just that, so please go watch those after finishing this one. Okay, so if you are the one who's tasked with recruiting and need to know how you can figure out who will be the best candidate for the company, there are mainly two ways. One is to rely on AI with the decision process. You can simply pre-program the AI to look for certain characteristics of a person and decide based off of that. If your company values an extroverted employee, program the AI to look for characteristics A, B, and C, which all indicates that this person is extroverted, and see if the next interviewee have any of these traits. Another way is to utilize the decision hygiene strategy. Decision hygiene strategy is a predetermined guideline in order to promote consistent and objective judgment. This study has multiple action steps you should take, which are 1. Creating guidelines for decision making in advance and present them to the interviewers. This is something I've briefly touched on minutes ago. 2. Hire some kind of an external observer who's trained to identify any decision-making biases. This is mainly in order to include an objective judgment. And 3. Have multiple interviewers who can evaluate the candidate individually and then make a combined assessment. By implementing the decision hygiene strategy, companies can set up the recruiting process kind of like a science experiment, where researchers try to eliminate as much fuel of judgment errors like psychological biases or any type of noise. An example of a company that's implementing the decision hygiene strategy includes places like Google. According to Google's interviewing process, they first make each individual candidates have multiple interviews with different employers. These employers come prepared with a set guideline that they see the candidate through. The interviewers, at the same time, make sure to not judge the candidates by their perception and strictly judge them based off of the guideline, and also collect data on it. After collecting all the necessary data, the hiring committee will meet to decide who to actually hire. Yeah, so the most important point here is to develop a hiring criterion in advance and simply apply it to the next interviewee and see if they match that criteria enough. According to the book, by implementing this method, recruiters will be able to eliminate most of the noise or the biases and successfully choose the right candidate for that job. Of course, companies and the individual recruiters hold different perspectives that each develop from different life experiences, personal bias, mood of the day, habits, whether their favorite sports team has won or lost a game. All sorts of stuff. Human judgments are so easily influenced by factors like these, and as participants of these occurrences ourselves, we should keep these notions in our mind at all times. Okay, that was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. For today's book recommendation, other than the one that I've already talked about, I suggest you to read Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by McKeown. This book tackles the question, how can you do more in less time? To which many people answer with things like become a minimalist or clean up your workspace. And these are good starters, but just simplifying your life isn't enough because there are just too many aspects in life that will affect your performance. I just explained that things like personal experiences, a variable that can totally affect you but is extremely difficult to discard, is a major obstacle to your accomplishing more. What you need to deal with is a much bigger target. Maybe the fact that you have a habit of not putting things back into places and that's why your room is always messy, which means that just organizing your room will only make it messy the next day. Essentialism is the idea to focus on only the essential stuff so that you can gain the most amount of benefits with the least amount of effort. If you're interested, the Amazon link is in the description. Now, if you haven't checked the channel recently in the past few videos talk about how to detect if your company or workplace is toxic, and here too you can use a number of predetermined rules and apply it to the company. Using these rules to figure out if the workplace is toxic should particularly be of interest to you because many studies have proven that the negative stress you face at the workplace will follow you back to your homes, affecting your loved ones. I'm very certain you don't want that to happen. So if you want to know more about how to solve this issue, the video is also down in the description, along with many other videos of many other topics. You've been watching Life Study Library. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the content. I'll see you in another video. Peace out.